Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone. Hi English language learners from Your English Matters and TEFLism. It's nice to be with you today after Eid al-Fitr, and we will continue the series of Your English Matters. أهلا وسهلا بكم جميعا. تحياتي لحضراتكم وكل عام وحضراتكم طيبين وبخير. والنهاردة هنكمل إن شاء الله بإذن الله سلسلة Your English Matters. إحنا كنا بدأنا Your English Matters قبل رمضان، وكان في أكتر من موضوع سجلناه وحلقات لايف فيديو موجودة على صفحة اليوتيوب أو قناة اليوتيوب في Your English Matters. وبعد كده إن شاء الله لما دخل رمضان كان في سلسلة تعتبر extension من Your English Matters مش مختلفة عنها، هي كانت قطايف لغوية. كملنا بعض الموضوعات الأخرى، والنهاردة خلاص Your English قطايف لغوية انتهت، فدخلنا أو رجعنا تاني ل Your English Matters. وكمان بدأنا حلقات ليو اللي هي Learn English Online، تعتبر برضو extension من Your English Matters. فاحنا رجعنا لقواعدنا سالمين، والنهاردة تعتبر بعتبرها تقريبا هي أول حلقة بعد رمضان وبعد عيد الفطر. Are you with me? Can you hear me? Can you listen to me? Is it clear? جميل جدا. Very good. Okay. Today we have a remarkable session, a video lesson, which I think it's very, very important for all of us, English learners and teachers. Not even that, those who do have jobs, different jobs in different workplaces. Not even that. Mothers and housewives, students, workers, everyone. It's about consistency. It's about how to be consistent. But I will try to, or I will confine this session to only consistency in terms of English language learning. Okay, I think that we all seek to be good at English. We all seek to reach a high level of proficiency and achieve our dreams. One of those dreams is to be fluent, is to get on the road to language fluency. I think this is true. And I think this has something to do with being consistent. So today's session or today's video meeting, it will be short, it will not be long, because I want to hear from you. I want to know about your experience. So it will be a very short session because I will give you some time to write to me, to ask me questions and to tell me about your experience. Did you face this problem, which is you do not continue the process, you do not continue your learning English journey. You stop and then you come back and then you stop. Did you face this dilemma or not? So I will talk today about what is consistency and how to be consistent. So I will try to tell you what consistency means and how consistency is really fundamental in learning English. And by the end, I tell you some tips how to be consistent, and then I'll give you the ground to tell me about your experience. And I will listen, of course, to your questions and try to answer as much as possible. Okay. Let me start by telling you something which I think that you all agree with me, that all English language learners, when they start the learning journey, they start with much energy, they start with much enthusiasm, and seriousness of, they have seriousness of purpose, and they are energetic, and they are ambitious. They kick off the learning journey with much energy, with much interest, with much enthusiasm, and with much excitement. But this, unfortunately, sad to say, this does not continue for a long time. They start to lose interest. They start to get bored, and to be maybe somehow to feel down, to be disappointed. They start to feel demotivated. And as a result of all these negative feelings, they stop. They give up the whole process. Maybe they come back, but again they stop. So they start and then they stop, and then they start again and then they stop again, and so on. So it's a never-ending process of continuing and stopping, right? So this is the problem of consistency. Why this happens? Maybe because they feel that they're not making much progress. Maybe they feel that, or they had some high expectations and high dreams, and sometimes unreachable, maybe impossible. I will say instead unreachable objectives, aims, or targets in terms of learning English. And because they were not able to achieve their dreams, they stop, which is not true. Actually, they are making much progress, but they do not know that learning English or learning any language, it takes time. It takes much dedication and effort. And you need to be persistent and consistent. You need to know beforehand that it's okay, it's normal to stop. So if you stop for a reason or so, do not feel down. You should continue. Try to continue. Okay. One more thing, that they stop the learning journey because they feel that they're not making much progress. They are not improving. Is this true? Actually, this is not true. They are making much progress, but the problem here is something else. It has something to do with that they did a lot of input, but they did not find the environment or the outlet or the venues where they should do the output. So everything is stored in their minds. Everything is stored in their brains. They listen a lot to English and they read a lot in English, but they did not start speaking. They did not start writing. That's why they cannot feel it. They cannot feel that their English is not, it's improving. It's improving, but you should try to find some ways to let all the inputs out. They should be out, right? They should be expressed. These are called the cycles of learning. Cycles of learning. What are the cycles of learning? The cycles of learning is that when we start learning English, we start with much activation, with much energy, and then we stop. And then we start again, and then we stop, and so on. And this can continue for years. This process can continue for years. You start and stop, you start and you come again, and so on. If this happens to you, and I am sure that this happened to you before, and maybe this is happening right now. If this happens to you, let me tell you that you will not make much progress. Do not expect that you will not make any progress or much progress, or the progress that you wish to be, the progress expected, you want it to happen. Excuse me. That's why you need to try to find something, to find something that makes you consistent. You should try to find some consistency with your learning. So let's come now to consistency. What is consistency? Consistency is simply to have a habit, right? To have a habit. In other words, to do things on a regular basis, right? On a regular. I'm not going to say daily. Regular might be daily, it might be weekly, it might be monthly, okay? You do certain things every day or every 2 days, or you do certain things twice a week or 3 times a week, or on the weekends, or every 2 weeks. But you are consistent, right? You do these things regularly. You do these things on a regular basis. And again, I'm not talking here about learning English in particular. I'm talking about things in your life. Anything in your life. You might be one of those people who do not do things on a regular basis for many reasons. Not only, I'm not talking about learning English. Okay, so let me first ask you a question and ask myself a question. Is consistency something easy to achieve? Is it something easy to realize? Actually, yes and no. The answer is yes, it is easy. And again, it is not that easy. Because the answer here, or making it easy or no, or being consistent or not consistent, depends on lots of factors, depends on many things. It depends on WH or many WHs. What are these? Depends on what, when, how, and why you do this or that. Let me explain. It's difficult. It's difficult to be consistent if you do not know why you are learning English. Why you are learning English? For what purpose? You should ask yourself. If this is not clear to you, you will not be consistent. You will not do things on a regular basis. You will stop for sure. At a certain point, at a certain time, you will stop. This will happen for certain, because you don't know why you started learning English, or why you are learning English. One more thing, it's difficult to be consistent if you don't know why you are using this resource and not that one. We have multiple learning resources on the web. Facebook pages, Facebook groups, websites, blogs, online dictionaries, online softwares, tools, YouTube channels. The internet is a real treasure. It's full of resources. And these resources, some of them are for free, or most of them are for free, and others are paid. So there are no excuses for you not to learn English. Everything is available. Everything is at your fingertips. Everything is handy. So then again, why you are using this resource, why you are listening to this podcast and not this podcast, why you are watching this TV show and not that TV show, why you are reading from this blog and not that blog. So why you are using a certain resource and not, and here we're talking about the purpose. Last video session from the series Leo Learn English Online, I talked about some things you should consider when you choose or when you start learning from a certain resource, whether it's a blog, a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a YouTube channel, whatever. You should think of the level, the content, the type of English, the skills, the systems, and the purpose. The purpose of the resource, why this resource is created. Is it created for English language learners or for everyone? What is the purpose? Is it grammar oriented? Is it vocab oriented? Is it listening oriented? You should think why you choose or why you chose this resource. It's difficult to be consistent if you don't know why I am not making much progress, why I'm not improving. I'm dedicating much time to learning English, but still the results are not that high. So what is the reason? You should find the answer. The answer should come from you. You know the answer, but maybe you don't know how to answer this, or maybe you know the answer, but you don't want to be aware of it. Maybe there is something wrong with you. Maybe you are not that motivated. Maybe you don't know why you are learning English. So it's a process. So again, why I'm not making much progress? What is the real problem behind this? And I videoed a whole session, and it is in my YouTube channel, Your English Matters, about this topic, why my English is not improving. So please go to the YouTube channel, Your English Matters, and watch this video. It's really essential to know what is the reason. Because if you know the reasons why your English is not improving, you will know how to improve. You will put your hand on the way out. It's difficult to be consistent if you don't know what I should start with and what comes next. You don't know what you should start with. And again, I think that I dealt with this. I don't know when and where, in which video, when I talked about the issue of prioritizing, how to prioritize your resources. So what I should start with? Should I start with listening? Should I start with reading? Should I start with writing? Should I start with speaking? We have different needs. We have different urgencies. I call these the urgencies of English. I'm sorry, I'm not following now your comments because I don't want to lose time, but I will go back to your comments. Okay, I can see your comments now, but I'm sorry, I don't want to stop my line of thought, but I'm following your comments. Okay. Okay, I've done. My tea's done. Okay, so let me go back. What was I saying? That you didn't know what I should start with. What are the priorities? And of course, we have different priorities. Priorities depend on lots of things. Depends on the context. Depends on your work context, and maybe depend on your academic context or your life context. So we have different needs. So we cannot say that we will all agree on certain things to start with. Maybe this happens if you are a beginner. If you are a beginner, yes, you might have a fixed plan for all beginners. But when you move up, things change. And you start thinking about starting with this and not with that. So maybe this is not clear. And that's why you cannot continue. Okay. It's difficult to be consistent if you don't know how to learn. And this is really critical. How to learn. I guess that the main problem in our educational system is that we know a lot about what to learn, but we don't know how to learn, how to handle, and how to deal with this and that. We don't know how to listen. We don't know how to speak. It's not that clear. We don't know how to write and how to speak. These are the main skills. But under these main language skills, we have sub-skills. So if you know about how to read an article, you will get the maximum benefit. If you don't know how to speak and how to engage in conversations with others, if you know something about the conversation skills, of course you will be very good at communication. If you know how to write, you will be a good writer. So we just care about the syllabus. We just care about the courses. We just care about the resources, which are really a must. But you should know how to handle, how to deal with this. So I cannot tell you, please drive this car, and you don't know how to drive a car. I should teach you how to drive a car, how to start the engine, how to use a steering wheel, right? So it's about how, know how. This is really, really important, and you should take this into consideration when learning anything in your life, not only learning English. You should think of how, right? Okay, so if you don't know how, you will not be consistent. Again, it's difficult to be consistent if you don't know when I should start and for how long. When I should start. Should I start right now or not? And how long? For how long? A year or 2 or 3? Of course, this is a complex, or this is a controversial issue, because we don't find just one answer for this question. It depends on lots of things. It depends on your motivation. It depends on your talent. It depends on your English language sense. It depends on your attitude and aptitude, right? Because these are really two important factors that determine for how long you will be fluent in English. It depends on your attitude. It depends on your attitude, which means that do you have a negative attitude or a positive attitude? And if you do have a negative attitude, how to turn it into being positive? This is attitude. This is a long story. Maybe I will dedicate one video for this issue. And then we move to aptitude. Can I do this or that? Can I do this? Some people do lots of things, but they fail because they cannot do it. They do not have the ability. So when I talk about the aptitude, AP, I talk about what you can do and what you cannot do. It's about the ability. So some learners, they have the attitude, they have a very positive attitude, but they cannot do this. And vice versa. Some people can do this, but they have a negative attitude. And the result in both cases, failure or not being consistent. You stop. It's difficult to be consistent if you do not know, yes, when I should start. When I should start. Is there a certain time to start learning English? And what if I get old? I'm now in my 40s, I'm now in my 30s, I'm now in my 50s. Can I learn English, or it's too late? Even if it's too late. There is a saying that says, better late than never. Better late than never. So you can, yes, you can at any time, but this is not the issue. Don't let this stop you from learning English. So age is not that significant factor. Of course, it affects in some way or another, but again, let that not stop you from learning English. Okay, so these are the common things that makes being consistent somehow difficult to achieve. But let me tell you something. More important is that it becomes really impossible to be consistent if you do not enjoy what you're learning, if you do not feel interested in the thing you're doing. You watch a TV show, but you do not enjoy it. You will not learn anything. You listen to podcasts, but these podcasts are not interesting. You will not learn anything. You read articles from a blog because I advised you to read articles from a blog, so you're following my advice, which is good because you learn from my experience, but maybe you're not interested in reading. So think of how to be interested in reading before you start reading. If you do not like listening to podcasts, and podcasts are really excellent resources to develop your listening and speaking skills, but still you don't like listening in general. So what is the main problem? So try to think how to be interested in listening. So do not surrender, don't give up. What is really important is that you should think of something that makes you like English, that makes you enjoy learning English. Again, one more time, English is not a subject. It's not a syllabus to be studied. It's a language. English, French, Spanish, Italian, any language. All these are languages, and languages are to be practiced and are to be enjoyed. Because if you do not enjoy what you're doing, you will not make any progress. You will not achieve what you are aspiring. And again, it becomes impossible if you do not put the things you learn into practice. If you do not use what you're learning. You did a lot of input, but you did not use these inputs or what you learned from these from the input process. So two things are really important. Number one, you should have fun, you should enjoy what you're doing, choose the things that interest you, choose the things that you like doing. If you don't like grammar, okay, skip grammar. If you don't like reading, okay, you can skip it. But again, reading is a fundamental skill. But try to think how to make yourself a good reader, how to be interested in reading. By the way, I myself do not like reading. I do not like reading. I'm not a good reader. I'm a good listener, right? But I discovered that I could continue like this. I teach English to many people, to English students or students at the Department of English. And I always tell them that reading is one of the top skills. So how I ask them to read, and I myself do not read. So I have to think in a different way. I have to change my learning habits. Okay, now let's come to the final part and the second part, which is what I should do to be consistent. Here are some tips. We have about 6 tips. Of course, these are not everything. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that in this video's description, you will find right now, or maybe after the video, after I end this session, you will find in the description two links about how to be consistent. So please download or play these 2 links online and listen online, or download them on your PC or your device and listen to these 2 lessons. They are about consistency and motivation. They are really wonderful. So please Please don't forget to download. These two are taken from two different podcasts. Okay, back. The tips. Number one, you should be responsible for your learning. You should take responsibility for your learning. Do not expect that others will help you all the time. At a certain time, they will not be with you. You should be responsible for your learning. You should take responsibility for your actions. You should be independent. You should be independent. What we call autonomous learning. You should start a new process of self-study. And if you study or learn English on your own, you will gain a lot. So don't wait for others to help you. You should take control and you should take action. Two things. Take control and take action. You should take action, okay? Two, think of how you can incorporate English into your daily life. How you can make English a part of your daily life. So it becomes, I'm not going to say a chore, because if I call it a chore, it will be a burden. It will be something that you might not endure, that you might not stand. So, but I can tell you that it should be part and parcel of your daily life. So you do certain things every day. So please try to set, and this is number 3, set a certain time aside every day to learn. Maybe 15 minutes every day per day, but be consistent every day, right? 1 hour every day if you can do that, and try to vary resources. And this is number 4. Use different resources to learn from, because if you use just one source and you stick to just this source, you will feel bored, and I guarantee that you will stop. You just watch TV shows. Of course you will get bored because you watch just one type of video. Okay, you are a visual learner and you are learning from visuals, okay, with your eyes. This is great, but again, vary the videos. TV shows, okay, this is one type. Movies, this is another type. Documentaries, this is a third type. So try to presentations, a fourth type. Conferences, webinars, seminars, lectures, you can watch all of these in video format. So your eyes watch different styles, different formats, different body movements, different topics, right? But you just watch TV shows all the time, your whole life you watch TV show, nothing else, you just listen to songs, that's it. This is not enough. This is great, but it's not everything. You read books, you can read articles, you read blogs, you read short stories, you read newspapers, magazines. So we have different reading texts and we have different listening texts. So please try to vary your resources. 5, you should know about your level. Because some learners, they stop the learning journey because they choose the wrong level. And they chose the wrong level, I'm sorry to say, on purpose. On purpose. My level is pre-intermediate, but I'm going to try upper intermediate, because most of my friends are upper intermediate, and I'm feeling jealous. This will not work. This is wrong. You should think about yourself. Don't think about your friends, right? This will not lead to success. You will fail, or I'm not going to, you'll fail, you will stop. You will stop, because if you do the upper intermediate stuff, you will find it really hard to grasp, to understand. So what's wrong if you are a beginner and most of your friends are intermediate. Fine, no problem. Work a lot, work hard, work on yourself, dedicate much time and effort, and I'm sure that you will excel them. Do you know why? Because you know the ins and outs. You know how to start. You know what to start with. You know why I'm doing this and not that. You know everything. You have a plan. You have a goal. And this makes you special. This makes you different. So have trust in yourself that you will excel them. Right? So they are upper intermediate, fine, but I'm sure that you will not take much time and will be upper intermediate too. I'm just giving you or citing an example. So you should know about your level. You should know about your level from all the tests, the placement tests. For example, online you can just get some idea about your level, and then you start choosing the resource that matches your level. Last thing, look for the things that interest you. Look for the things that you find them fun and enjoyable and interesting. Do not choose anything because a friend of yours recommends this to you. It's okay. It's okay to recommend a resource to a friend, but this might not work with you. Okay, so okay, thank you for your recommendations. You go to this website and try to check whether it's okay or not. So do not don't press yourself to do a certain task or to choose a certain resource and to work on this resource and you don't like it, but you continue. Why? Because of my friend. My friend tells me it's okay, and he is learning a lot from this resource. So, but I'm not learning from this resource like him, because you are different. You have different talents, different abilities, different motivations, different attitudes, different aptitudes, different learning styles. It's a long story. Okay, this is consistency, and I'm done with the session, and now I'm ready for your questions. So allow me to go through your comments. I'll check them from my laptop. So I'm sorry if I do not look at you. Hen Suleiman, yes, exactly. My level is intermediate and I study advanced and upper intermediate. 3 levels. Hint, your level is intermediate and I study advanced and upper intermediate. You are distracted. No, you should stop this. You should stop doing this. Know about your level. If your level is intermediate, work on intermediate and forget about the upper and the advanced. If you are upper intermediate, work on the upper intermediate and skip the others. You are working on 3 skills or 2 skills at the same time. This does not make sense. You have to change this, please, please. Adil, Siam, we should build some learning habits. Yes, of course, fixed processes with certain standards to make it as serious and important as possible. Great, Adil, thank you. Yes, you should have a learning habit. You should English a habit, but at the same time make it an enjoyable habit, not a boring one, not a tiring one. If you cannot learn English for 1 hour per day, okay, you can reduce, minimize to half an hour. If you cannot study or learn English for half an hour per day, okay, minimize to 15 minutes. If you cannot, and so on, 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes is fine. This is the minimum. أقل من كده تبقى مشكلة كبيرة. Yes, I'm confused طبعا. Take responsibility for your learning, take control, should be part. Yes, you are writing the script or a summary of, thank you, Asma. I need to get all the comments, but I cannot find them. The comments, where are the comments? Okay, so I'm going to read them from here. Beginning, عليكم السلام حسن. Start from the beginning, من الأول خالص بقى. Hello everyone, Dalia, اسماء. Hello Ramiz, دعاء عاطف, اسماء عادل. Yes, your voice is clear. Okay, everything is clear. Okay, ده من الأول خالص. Okay. What are the fixable hours we should spend when we study English? Do not expect me to answer this. The answer is yours. The answer should come from you. You tell me. You tell me the fixed hours. Tell me. You tell me. I don't know how your day goes on. I don't know anything about your lifestyle, about your day, about your work, about your personal life. You should answer this. You know, for how many hours should I dedicate, or how many minutes should I dedicate every day? I cannot answer this question. It depends, Hassan. It depends. Sometimes we need 21 days or more to form a new habit based on consistency. Yes, I agree. But why 21 days? Why 21 تحديدا حسن? Please explain. ما أعرفش حقيقة, ممكن يكون في حاجة. We are different in our personalities. Yes, true. I have a problem. I get bored of English because I study it every day. I study IELTS. What should I do? Maybe this happens because of IELTS. IELTS is not that interesting. IELTS is a test, and we don't like tests. We don't like being tested. We don't like being examined. So maybe the problem is with IELTS. Are you taking IELTS? This is a very important question. Why are you taking IELTS? For an urgency. You are traveling soon. You want to get a job. You have an offer. You have a scholarship, and this scholarship requires that you have IELTS. So maybe you are pressed for time. You don't have much time, and there is a deadline, and this makes you get bored. Because you are not studying, you're not learning, or you are not studying feeling relaxed, at ease. Maybe this is the problem. But English is not boring. What do you think? The big problem is the continuality. That's what exactly you're doing with us. You're not giving us just resources to keep improving, but you teach us how to use them. Yes, Asma, you got the point. And that's why your English matters. Your English matters. If you are not interested in something, it will be a boring journey in learning. Yes, agree, Asma Adil. It's for everything in our life, not only in learning English. Nurhan, yes, consistency is everything. The more motivation we have, the faster we will learn. Of course. That's why consistency is related to motivation, and you will find an audio session, an audio lesson in the description on and motivation. So please don't forget to download the two. How can I use what I'm learning, especially the speaking part nowadays? It's really easy. You can chat with friends who speak the same mother tongue, who speak Arabic, and this is a start. Try to speak with them in English. Try to have conversations in English with your friends, even if you converse for just a few minutes. You can go to Skype and chat with native speakers. You can go to many applications on the web. Some of them are free and others are not free, like italki, like Cambly, like Lingoda, like Speaky. All these are tools and applications you can use to start speaking with others. If you feel that you cannot do this because you lack self-confidence, or you feel shy when talking with others, or maybe you do not trust yourself and you're afraid of making mistakes, so start with talking to yourself aloud. Talk to a mirror, record your voice, try to find a text and read this text aloud. What I mean is that you let your tongue be free. You should speak and speak aloud. If you speak aloud a lot, you will have confidence. It takes time, but you should take a step. We should build some learning habits, okay? 5 hours to master, maybe at least 5 hours to master all this. This is a lot. Hint, I don't agree with you. You mean 5 hours per day? I think you can't do this. No one can do this. 5 hours per day to practice English? This might happen if you work in an academic context where you speak English and use English all the time. But this might not be available to everyone. Yes, you can use English for 5 hours and more if your academic or work context asks you to use English all the time. So this might happen. But if you are staying at home, or if you are working at a place where Arabic is the only language, and you study at a certain educational organization and you use Arabic all the time, so how can you have 4 hours per day or 5 hours per day? My problem is getting very bored quickly. That's what I was talking about. Maybe you don't have a plan, you don't have a goal, you can't form a habit. Maybe this is because you are choosing, you're not choosing the right resources. Maybe you're choosing the wrong level. Maybe you don't know about your learning style. Lots of things result in being motivated or being demotivated. And I advise you, Ula, Imam, to watch my video on motivation, how to be motivated and why English language learners feel demotivated. Try to watch this video and look for the reasons that result in being demotivated. Thank you, Asma Adil. I believe lifelong learning, and I like English, but to continue practicing English every day is not easy. It's challenging. No, it's not challenging. It's easy. Why do you feel it's challenging? Why is it challenging to you? It's not challenging. Make it not challenging. Make it something fun. Make it something enjoyable, and you will not find it challenging. The two videos, just one video about motivation. I just recorded one video on motivation. And this is another video, consistency, and this might be the second video about motivation, but I called it consistency. And motivation, the video, it's on my YouTube channel, Your English Matters. Yes, it's a psychological thing that we need to work 21 days straight to make a behavior become automatic. The first time to hear about that, thank you, Hassan, thank you. It's a psychological theory that we need to work 21 days, so it's something academic that you should work. So Hassan is telling us that why 21 days? Why ليه 21 يوم بالذات? Because this is a psychological theory that we need to work 21 days straight to make a behavior become automatic. So you need 21 days to have or to establish a learning habit. Okay, great, interesting, wonderful, wonderful information. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Wafa. Thanks for my pleasure. Okay, I think done with all comments. Thank you so much for attending. I enjoyed being with you today. Next Tuesday we will have two video sessions. I'll be meeting with you on Tuesday twice. The first one will be on maybe 4 or 5, right? And the second one will be at 10. We will have two sessions. The first one will be for shadowers, the shadowing project that we started about 7 days ago, and we will have a Zoom session in Arabic where we discuss together what happened with you. Give me the feedback, what you liked and what you didn't like, and how things went. And the second video would be it will be Leo Learn English Online. It will be another Zoom session. So we have two Zoom sessions, but the first one is for shadowers, and I'm going to be live on Zoom at the same time, share the live on Your English Matters, so you can attend from Zoom or attend from Your English Matters. But if you attend from Your English Matters, you will not be able to share with me your work. So please, for shadowers, please install Zoom, and I need you to be with me on Zoom. For those who have not started the shadowing task, for those who have not shadowed with us, you can watch Your English Matters. You can watch the session from Your English Matters. So please, for all shadowers, even if you started and you did not finish, for all shadowers, for all those who started with me the shadowing task, please, I need you to be with me on Zoom, right? Because if you see me from Your English Matters, you would not be able to share your work and your comments. I'm not going to see them. The second session, it will be on Zoom too, and this will be Leo, and I will be streaming from Zoom live, and at the same time share it on Tefilism. So the first session, it will be shared with Your English Matters, but the second one, it will be Leo. We will have 3 new resources, learning resources, and this session will be shared with Tefilism. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure seeing you, and inshallah see you very soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.